Hello and good afternoon, Xbox Nation. Welcome to this week's new episode of the Xbox Factor Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL. And man, oh man, what a time to get excited about Xbox. So much really good news. June is around the corner. Sarah Bond dropping bombs left, right, and center about the future of Xbox. We're getting new hardware. Backwards compatibility is going to be moving forward, a thing that revolutionized gaming, respecting your purchases of the past, something that a lot of other platforms don't do. Nintendo, I mean, listen, I know I'm guilty and a part of the problem, but how many times did you as a gamer go out and buy Super Mario Brothers because they didn't move it forward? I probably bought it 4 or 5 times, shamefully enough, because, well, I'm a part of the problem. Sony, well, you can't play PlayStation 3 stuff, at least natively. There's a lot of stuff you can't play. A lot of the stuff for Sony is not up-resed, and it's not brought to modern visuals. That's something you get with Xbox. So on that point, Xbox is winner, winner, chicken dinner. Obviously, Call of Duty has been confirmed to be at their June show in a big way. Folks, I'm here to tell you that if you remember a couple of years ago, Sony did something. Well, they're the masters of marketing, right? They put out a Spider-Man console, a PS4 Slim, with 2018 Spider-Man packed in. The console was a limited edition Spider-Man console, and they sold it for $200. And to this day, there has not been a bundle that has sold more than that on any Black Friday after it. It was a really big deal, made a lot of money. I have a feeling, Infinite Umbra, that this year, not only is Microsoft going to have full on complete control of Call of Duty marketing, they dropped that game into a Series S, and it's $200. It's game over, literally, pun intended. How you feeling, Umbra?
I'm feeling good, Boom. It's good to be back. It feels like I've been missing for like weeks or sometimes. It's what it feels like.
Well, you've been tired. The last
I
couple of
have.
times you were exhausted. You didn't show up because obviously you wind up getting stuck at work late. And if anyone worked midnights and I
Yeah.
was a police officer and I did it, it ain't easy to come home and start something else.
It ain't easy being cheesy. I'm sorry. No, man. That's so funny because I was on the last week, of course. But as you know, I hit you up. I'm like, yeah, brother, I'll do. Yeah, you like I can move this up and you get your first bars off, and then go ahead and go. I know you're tired. I'm like, yeah. And I never showed up. I woke up later, like, oops.
It happens, brother. It happens.
Yeah, man. I hate to do that and miss out and stuff like that, but I am happy to be here with you guys now. And we got the new squad here now, seemingly.
Yes.
Yes, chat. We all have to deal with Crazy Louie now.
Yeah.
Welcome, Crazy Louie, my brother. It is fun to have you on. Of course, there's going to be some interesting debates with you, I'm very sure. And Jamie, we've never actually had a chance to speak. We obviously interacted on Twitter, but it's good to have you on as well, brother.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you for finally, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, finally, absolutely. Yeah, as far as what I've been up to and things like that, I have, boom, you see my posts, and I'm sure some of you in the chat have seen me posting about the new PC and things like that. So
yeah, looks beefy. Yeah,
man.
Looks beefy.
Let me tell you something. You talk about beefy, you might as well call it Brutus the barber beefcake if that's what we're gonna do.
Broke my heart, man. Broke my heart. I thought you were a constant gamer. Broke my heart. Broke my heart.
I'm still an Xbox guy though.
Broke my heart.
Only for performance. Only for performance. That's it.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, I'm still getting acclimated to it. But I have been playing. That was a very much of a villain laugh, Louis, that you did, Louis. Like Quan is pointing out in the chat. But yeah, I'm getting used to it. I'm playing Dragon's Dogma on it, so it's just interesting. I'm really enjoying it so far. But yeah, happy to be here. Morning chat, afternoon or evening, whatever time it is for you.
Well, listen, it's great to have you here. Great that you're getting acclimated with the PC MR as it is. There is a movement coming the way of a Kayasante #buy PC. If you want 60 frames, buy a PC. Which is, I mean, again, it's true. But look, Jamie Moran, obviously having him to join us on a regular basis. It's not going to be every week. It's going to be when he's available because of his work schedule. But he is going to be joining us on a regular basis. I'm very excited for that because Jamie, if there's one community member that jumps off the page for me that is pushing positivity and puts out amazing tweets, and unfortunately recently needed an order of protection from the Arkham Asylum inmates who have escaped. How you feeling, Jamie? Welcome.
Thanks, man. I feel good. It's been a good week. You know, the doom and gloom is less than usual. I'm a positive guy. You know, so like when it comes to Xbox stuff and gaming, I'm not. I don't really go down the whole doom and gloom route. So that's not really for me. But it's been a good week. I ratioed some industry professionals, which is really cool because
we'll talk
industry
about that
people are
because
also cool.
you kind of did something pretty spectacular. You made a very I hate to use the word prominent because he's not prominent. He is a coward of a journalist, and he's very catty, and he likes to be pointed when he thinks he has the upper hand. Well, you shut that down, kind sir. We'll get into who we're talking about momentarily, but it's great to have you join us on a regular basis. And again, love the work that you do in the community. It's so positive. It's so fun. You bring up games from every era, and unfortunately, when you're trying to be positive, the boo birds seem to come out.
Yeah, like if people follow me on Twitter, you know, I'll talk about like backwards compatibility in older games a lot, specifically 360 games, and that just brings out the crazies for some people, and I don't really get it. You know, we should all celebrate gaming. We should be, you know, you get told on a weekly basis you should buy your games, but on a weekly basis I get told I shouldn't replay my games. So which is it? You know?
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it's very true. Well, listen, great to have you here, and a new member permanently joining us here, Crazy Lou Gaming, folks. You may get him one day podcasting from the shower. Crazy Lou Gaming, what's up, brother? How you feeling? Welcome.
I'm feeling great, Mr. BoomStick. I'm feeling great, especially since I'm here with Mr. Umbra, which we have our little fights right behind the scenes on Twitter sometimes, but it's cool. We have our fights, and I win him a lot of the times, man. I win him a lot of the times. He comes over there, you know, trying to box me up. I'm like, no, you cannot beat this crazy one down. No way, no way. But either way, though, happy to join you all. Happy to be on the show. Let's get this thing on the road because we got some heavy stuff to talk about.
Well, we do. But before we even get into that, folks, I'm going to do a quick screen share because I see a lot of new names here. Obviously, like any other YouTube channel, we're trying to grow. We're trying to reach other gamers. We're trying to do different things. I've done some shorts. Some have taken off. Some have gotten a few views. People are enjoying them. One of the things that we are going to be doing, and actually, I don't know if anyone is a comic book nerd like me. There is a channel. His name is Josh. He runs the Den of Nerds. It's a phenomenal channel. He has live content, I think 4 days a week. He used to do 5 like me. And he does, he's actually writing a comic book. He's actually writing his own book, which is awesome. He has a secondary YouTube channel for videos. And there's no way I can do that. I don't have enough time. What I'm going to start doing, and obviously, I'm reaching out to you as a community to see if this is something you would like me to do. I'm going to start doing videos cutting up topics that we cover here. So let's say, for instance, right now we're going to cover Call of Duty, and it's a 15-minute topic. I'm going to have to find time to go into video editing software and dice it up and upload it as a video that you can watch at your convenience, and it's only going to be 13 minutes. And because again, you know, with some shows are 2 hours, some shows are 90 minutes. I have another one that's 70. So the times vary, and the topics are sometimes, you know, obviously some people don't want to sit in for a 2-hour show, which is why I do show notes and I give you timestamps. But I'm going to try it the other way. Again, we're just trying to grow the channel organically, like legitimately get people to subscribe. We've had a great run up into the last couple of weeks, and we've been struggling. Not sure if that's something that I'm personally doing or something that that YouTube did to us as a channel, because I can't call anybody. So we're going to start doing that. But there is one other thing that we're going to start doing, and I'm going to do a quick screen share because thankfully, and I feel very lucky about this, Ben Kenobi of Twitter, who is an outstanding artist, has been doing these Xbox coins. They're limited. I'm one of the creators that were a founding father, if you will, when he first started this. I invested into the project, and I'm a part of the creator pool that are going to be getting these coins to give away. And what coin I'm going to show you right now is going to be the next big one. I still have, I want to say, maybe about 50 coins to give away. I got a couple of Hold the Lines. I got a couple of Forzas. I got quite a few Call of Duties. I have Pal World coins on the way, and these are limited. Once they're printed, that's it. There are no reprinting these. So I'm going to show you something, folks. And again, this will be given away to celebrate the Hellblade 2 launch in May. He already has the coins. I don't personally have them yet, but he's going to be mailing them out soon. So I'm going to show you what they look like. Let me do a quick screen share, and you can check it out. Here we go. These are the coins that I'm going to be giving away. I'm going to be giving away 10 of them. One side is, of course, Senua. The second side, flipped over to the right, as you can see, is the Xbox logo. These are going to be extremely rare. They are going to be very limited. I don't even know if they're making more than 100 of them, to be honest with you. And obviously, you can see the logo being fan art. That is Ben Kenobi. That is something that he does, Xbox fan art. You should follow not only Ben Kenobi, but Xbox fan art on Twitter. This is going to be the coin that we're giving away. And there is a small caveat. I talked about it on the closing of yesterday's show. Mrs. Boom and I foolishly have been just giving the prizes that we do away to anyone that's in the chat, not back checking to see if they're even subscribed to the channel. And we are changing that. And we're not doing it as punishment. We're doing it for fairness. One of the things that we pride ourselves as a channel is we give away thousands of dollars per year. We use the super chats and the channel memberships for that purpose. Outside of new equipment, updated artwork, and the only thing that we ask, if you can't be a channel member, great. Understand that financial times are very difficult for everyone. You can't drop a super chat, not a problem. We don't do this for money. We do this for the love of gaming. The one thing you can do that doesn't cost anything is subscribing to the channel. And if you're feeling incredibly generous, you hit the like button. And what we're going to do is, moving forward, to be fair, is we're still going to give away, we're giving away $3,500 worth of prizes in 2024, not counting a few of the extra ones that are still unannounced that Mrs. Boom has planned. So and again, I'm not saying this because I want to be patted on the ass. How many channels do you personally know that give away that kind of stuff? There aren't many. But we do it because we are incredibly humbled and just blown out of our minds how generous this community has been for us. So we want to push the envelope forward and give back as much as we can. Sometimes, and again, this is real private information. There were 2 years ago where we actually pulled out from our house fund because we said we were going to do a contest and something happened that I'm not willing to put on the air. But we took the money out of our home fund to make sure that we gave back like we said we were going to do. And that's who we are. So the only thing that we ask, and I don't think this is really asking a lot, folks, and I'm sorry for the rant, but I'm transparent. You know what I did as a cop in real life. I like being a transparent YouTuber, and I'm just throwing it out there that the only thing that we ask that you do is at least be sub to the channel. That's free. That doesn't cost you anything. We're not winning. We're not getting any awards at the end of the year. The only thing we'd like to do by the end of 2024 is potentially be past 15K. That would be a big deal for us. With that said, I want to continue the show. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this old man, because I feel incredibly lucky to even have an audience that listens to the show. So let's get back to talking about video games, folks. And again, thank you for your understanding. I'm super appreciative of it. But let's get into what Sarah Bond has been saying. Umbra, I want to go to you first, because there has been a lot of doom and gloom at Xbox. There's been a lot of fighting within the community. Even some of the biggest prominent Xbox guys have completely left the brand, and that's their prerogative. If a particular brand is not doing it for you, you don't owe anything to anybody. These are corporations. You're a customer, but Xbox is a little bit different, I would gather. And I want to bring Jez Corden into the conversation, because, as you know, I know Jez personally, but that's not why I'm a fan of his work. I'm a fan of his work because Jez is pointed, he's opinionated. Sometimes he's drunk when he gives it, and he's on the Xbox too, and we laugh, right? But he put out an article talking about what we need to know about the future of Xbox. And I want to read it verbatim, because I think there's a conversation to be really had here that should kind of calm anyone that has doubt that Xbox is here to stay, and that you as a customer is going to be taken care of, as we have been for many, many generations. And this is what he said in his interview: what you need to know. Per emails received by Windows Central, confirmed by Microsoft as genuine, Xbox president Sarah Bond recently briefed her team on various topics. Here are those topics, folks. In the emails, Sarah Bond reiterated Microsoft's plans to build new Xbox hardware focusing on delivering the biggest technical leap ever in a generation. That is a big deal. Sarah Bond also revealed that Microsoft has set up a dedicated team to future-proof our digital Xbox libraries across future hardware paradigms to further build on Xbox's strong history of delivering backwards compatibility. A huge, huge deal, folks. And finally, and additionally, according to the story, it was revealed that Xbox has become Diablo 4's most prominent platform since the game's inclusion into Xbox Game Pass. And again, there were a lot of people on the socials that are like, yeah, what's the big deal? It's an old game, and it's in Game Pass, and, it's welfare pass. I've even seen people say that. Of course, they are immediately blocked when you say something stupid like that, because I don't have time for that in my life. But of course, that's the whole point. And just imagine how many people are going to subscribe when Call of Duty gets into that. We're going to get into that in a second. Let's talk about this. Sarah Bond reiterating a lot of what we already knew, but I think that this actually needed to be said. What are your thoughts, Infinite Umbra?
Yeah, I think you're right. It needed to be said, and I actually saw it kind of reinvigorate some people too. So that's good. A brother of mine, you all may have seen him, know him, Crusader. He talked about it. Him and Jez correspond a lot, and I mean it's a very good move. I think it was a smart move in general for her to come out and speak. And I know a lot of people prefer to have Sarah Bond come out and talk in general, to move into that role that she is, she's elevated to. And so this was a perfect timing for that, especially with a lot of FUD going on in the community, like you were just mentioning. I think too, I mean, it just speaks to their commitment to continue on with the platform. And I know that's been a lot of the worry for a lot of people. It's like, okay, is this the end for Xbox? Are they going to go third party, et cetera, et cetera? Now you're hearing the supposed, is Xbox going to allow third parties to, rent them out, essentially to use them for their own products, which I think goes into a different type of discussion, such as those virtual machines. But the whole thing is a lot of that, I think, has alleviated a lot of the stress. And it's good to have something where you can go forward compatibility, because some Xbox One games do it now. Like they allow it on Xbox One, I believe, to Xbox, the current Xbox at least. So that's really dope. I think it's smart. Continuing on with that, it should I think that's something that they should continue on in general, because again, me having the PC as I do now, having all those games I can go back to and call up and pull up anytime I want, it's a blessing. So Xbox, I think that helps differentiate it from Sony or even Nintendo, where they're going to charge you an arm and a leg to play those older games.
Yep.
Just having access to it on Xbox, I think it's a W for sure. And again, I think the biggest takeaway is that it reassures people that Xbox is here for the long haul. That's the biggest takeaway for me. They're not just leaving, they're not exiting out of this franchise business, this platform business and console business. So that's the biggest takeaway for me. I think that's the biggest W in the whole situation. And again, we need more good news, because it has been a lot of FUD, unfortunately. I don't know if anybody had noticed, but like I hadn't really posted too much in general on Twitter like that, because I didn't want to add to that outside of me posting by my computer. Of course, I had to brag a little bit, but other than that, I didn't really post anything, my thoughts on things like that, because I figured I would save it until we actually got here to speak, or on my podcast or whatever. And it has been a lot of doom and gloom. One of the things, of course, had been the whole Hellblade looks so good, why isn't it on PS, blah blah blah,
Yeah, that was actually Game Rant that said that. Like it was so facetious. They were so again, if you folks want to hear it, I actually have it queued where you can hear him saying it is a greatest leap in gaming, but the fine folks over at Ninja Theory have worked so hard that it's almost a shame that other gamers don't. Shut up. Go buy an Xbox or playing PC. That's what I want to say. You want to mush that person. Sorry.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know.
Come on.
Did you want to speak on that separately after this, or
we will? Yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it, because again, this is, folks. Look, this week is so loaded. Tomorrow I already wrote the show. We're having myself, Hargeet, who's in the chat. Hargeet, what's up, brother? Kay Asante, the Black Viking, will be joining us. I think we have one other guest. There's been so much news, Umbra, that it's hard to put a show together. Like sometimes as a content creator, and you folks know there are a lot of content creators here, you're trying to put a show together because it's dead, and you're trying to figure out what the H are we going to talk about. And imagine me, like I do this 5 days a week. I gotta make sure I'm on point, right? Because otherwise people are like, boo, he sucks. So you gotta, you gotta stay up past midnight reading these things and writing these things. I do that on a regular basis because I care about the content. But this week was easy, dude. There was so much good news. And my God, again, when you start to see, and I said this, Umbra, we're going to get to this with the Hellblade stuff. When you start to see the gaming media, those D-bags, and we know who we're talking about. I'm not going to mention them by name. I'm not looking to go to war, but you know who I'm talking about. They have nice things to say about a particular game. I almost feel like Sanford and Son, the big one. It's coming. Oh, I'm ready to fall. Like it is crazy.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm coming, Elizabeth. Yep. Oh man, but listen, good stuff, man. I'm like you. I kind of, if you notice, I tweet normally 30 times a day because I'm excited. I'm advertising with a channel. I'm talking with other gamers. I'm throwing tweets. I actually did kind of step back a bit because the negativity was taxing. You know what I'm saying? It was. I felt like I was dragging because of it. Very, very, very disappointing. But I'm glad that we're starting to get out of the fog. June is going to be here, folks. And please, for the love of Joe, if you're going to be in LA for the event, let me know so we can hang out. We can meet in person. That I'm telling you, I've been to only one E3. And it was freaking amazing. And you know what was the best part of it? Meeting the people, seeing and hanging out and taking pictures. I'm gonna be there this June. Flights locked and loaded. The hotel is and Hargeet is the one that schooled me. So thank you, a huge thank you to Hargeet to kind of navigating the waters. I followed the Jedi Masters way, and I'm ready to go. And hopefully we get a chance to hang out in LA.
I would love to go. You know what? I got to get Hargeet to adopt me as his son, and then maybe I can get a Hargeet. Just let me know. I'll change my last name to Chani. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. It's nothing. It's the least I can do for you.
Yeah, listen. Yeah. Take what you can get, sir. Take what you can get. Shout out to Mike Johnson in the chats. His best show on YouTube, Mr. Boomstick. That makes my day. Again, everything else is great, but when you hear people say that they're really enjoying the show, that's why we do it. That's why Mrs. Boom and I put so much work into it, because of comments like that. So, Mike, thanks so much for the very generous comment. Listen, let's bring in Crazy Lou Gaming. Crazy Lou, look, Sarah Bond is out there. And one thing, if you've noticed, he's been tweeting again. He's out there on the socials. As a matter of fact, I said something to her, mentioning her about Xbox, and she actually liked the tweet. I was like, holy shit, mind blown. Let's go. And I'm glad that there's a confirmation from the president. Like there's again, yes, Phil Spencer is the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, but let's not diminish who Sarah Bond is and what position she holds. It is an important one. It is a major aspect of Microsoft. She is the president of Xbox Gaming. It's a big deal. Her coming out here saying that not only are they doubling down on hardware, backwards compatibility is going to be a thing. Let's talk about it.
Man, I'm just happy, Mr. Boomstick, that there's actually good news to talk about. I mean, seriously, months and months and months of rumors, crappy news, and now there's actually good news. I'm happy Sarah Bond came out. I'm happy she's talking about that she's going to have a team dedicated to backwards compatibility. That is awesome. And not only that, hardware too. Oh, man, even though we heard about it a couple weeks ago, but now she just reconfirmed the whole hardware situation that we are still getting a next-gen console. Oh, man, I'm super happy about it. And I'm sad, though, for all those people who were out there saying, doom and gloom for Xbox. I mean, why the heck go out there and talk about it like that? Come on, guys, come on. And the what-if questions and all those sad talks, making the community nuts, making people even sell their Xbox. Like, bro, no, I'm just messing with you, I'm just messing with you. But either way, though, I'm happy. Really happy because, man, good news is always good news. And I love the rumors that are coming out lately. I mean, they're talking about, Xbox might purchase Square Enix. Stuff like that. That's the good news we got to talk about, or the good news or good rumors that we should be talking about to get the community back excited, get the community to come see us talk about it with a lot of love, a lot of passion we have for the Xbox brand. I'm really happy she came out and said something.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think you can get a better confirmation. And, I've said this like in private conversations, and I'll say it publicly. There's nothing that I don't want to talk about. I think she deserves to be the voice of Xbox now. She holds a monster prominent position, and she deserves it. She has earned it. And I'd like to see more from her. I really do. As much as I love Phil, and I'm like I said, I got a chance to meet him in real life. Phil's a gentleman gamer, gentleman CEO, C-level executive. He's. I mean, when you talk to him, he's like talking to one of us. That's how he is. But I'd like to hear more from Sarah Bond, because I think that she is now the face of Xbox because of her position, as she should be. And I'm very excited that we did learn that there's going to be more hardware. And I think more specifically, and I want to go right over to the elusive gamer, a.k.a. Jamie Moran. You consistently talk about older games on Xbox that are playable, or sometimes like Singularity. You did a tweet the other day. If you missed out on that game, oh my God, I hope that gets an FPS boost and everything, because Singularity is a game that was so freaking good that most people did not play it. And that's hopefully one of the games that are going to be dropping into Game Pass. That's going to be a part of the backward compatibility program, where it does get an FPS boost, that does get an HDR boost. Let's talk about it, Jamie. Hearing from Sarah, I think she did clear up a lot of potential confusion as where Xbox is going.
Oh yeah, like Umber said, people needed in some way people kind of needed consoling a bit, because for 2 months people in the community were like losing their minds, losing the marbles, if you will, thinking Xbox is going away and all this stuff. But these consoles they make cost billions with a B to research and develop, and they wouldn't really do that if they were going to throw in the towel, and committing to backwards compatibility and game preservation is like, it's a big deal, because for Microsoft, like, they are the only platform where you can buy a game from, let's say, 360 and have it work on your new console. But if you have a Switch and you bought Mario 3 on the 3DS back in 2011, but you don't own that digitally, same with the PlayStation, but Microsoft, like, people like to kick Microsoft when they're down and say they don't have any legacy, but they are the only company, the only console company that really take care of their legacy titles, first and third party. And with all the rumors that they might be moving to ARM next generation, ARM architecture, like, compatibility is going to be massive for them, because you don't only have your Xbox Series games, you have thousands of Xbox One games, you have over 600 360 games, you have over 80 original Xbox games, all working seamlessly with your saves, your cloud saves, the upgrades, FPS boost, auto HDR. So when they talk about the next, generation of consoles having the biggest technological leap, and with AI technology coming into the fold, like, who knows what's going to happen? But if you're going to move into the next generation of consoles, which they're committing to, in a time when people said Xbox is going away, they're committing to next generation hardware. They have the most games going forward from the most generations. And I think this was the right news at the right time, especially after the past 2 months when Twitter has been an absolute hellscape. It's been some good news.
It's been great news, as a matter of fact. I mean, look, if you're in the chat, and again, there are a few people in here that are pushing back, great. This is why we do it. Have a conversation. If you feel as a gamer that somehow Xbox has lost its luster, it's lost its excitement, I'm not going to fight you on it. If that's how you feel, then Xbox needs to do better to get you back. How are they going to do that? Well, Hellblade's a great start. Hellblade's coming out in May 21st, I think it is. And that's going to be one of the first games in what seems to be an onslaught of games coming this year, moving through 2025 and 2026, that are just going to really be one banger after another. Maybe you need to play and see Hellblade 2 running on your Series X to get you excited again. I mean, I'm not here to boo you if you're not excited about Xbox. That's fine. And if you were a fan of Xbox, and somehow some of the moves that they've made, like putting games onto other platforms, now you have a distaste for it. I'm not going to fight you on it. You are allowed to feel that way, and you're allowed to be in this chat right now and vocal about it, because that, not everyone's going to agree, and we shouldn't. Good pushback is always makes for great conversation, as long as it's fair. But I think everyone has completely knocked it out of the park, specifically regarding the Sarah Bond. Her confirming that it's a top priority for next gen hardware, which is great for us, especially for me, because I'm not a PC guy. I don't know if I ever will be. I've thought about doing an Umbra and getting a pre-built, but I know that they're expensive, right? And right now we're trying to save for our first home, and that's a me problem. So
priorities, yeah.
Do I need it? No. Would it be nice? Sure, but I'm okay with the console.
Listen, I'm with you on that, and I'm still going to buy Xbox consoles. I had to talk to my PC Master Race buddy. Why do you want it? He's Russian. Why do you still want the Xbox if you have PC? So he sounded so disappointed and sad, right? I'm like, well, because one, I'm an achievement thought. I've said this many times. I don't know how many times I got to say this, but it's not just games off Game Pass, right? Sometimes I might want to, maybe it's some games that's not cross-play. Maybe it's a game that plays better on Xbox or console than it does on PC. That happens. Maybe I prefer, because I'm going to be honest with you. But the worst part about it for me is what I've noticed is some of the not limitations, but issues. For instance, trying to talk in a party on from PC to Xbox has been problematic for me. And you get on a Windows game bar and open it up and get through there, or whatever, and it's botting and it's distortion. It's a lot of different issues, and then you got other things. Some people don't want to deal with all of. Oh, you got to get the drivers, and you got to do this, the BIOS, and oh, well, you got to do this to get the new, all this other nonsense, right? Sometimes you just want to. Well, most of us, I would argue, even myself included.
You just want to press a power button, sit down on your couch and play. Yes,
that's it. And so I made the decision to hook it directly to my TV. So it's not like I'm playing on some small monitor. It's on a 65.
Okay, that's awesome.
OLED,
that's awesome,
right? But it takes some getting accustomed to, you know what I mean? And like you said, it is expensive, so it's not something that I would ever be like, you all just need to move on to PC. I can't just say that haphazardly, because it's very expensive, and it would be very short-sighted of me to say that, right? And rude, I guess, too, because some people, you got to understand people's complexities of what they can afford and do, and that's why console is so appealing to so many, including myself. But I would say that and as I said this on Kay Asante's podcast, Kay and Everborn's podcast this past Saturday, I played along with it, of course, with the PC thing, and acted like I was an elitist with it, but it was all good fun. I hope nobody was mad at me. But I will say, and I said it there rather, is that if performance really, really matters to you,
yes, great point.
That's when you got to say, okay, man, I may put some money aside and save up for this, right? Save up to get that for that reason specifically. I'm still going to be doing both. I'm going to have consoles and this, but I'm definitely doing that for when I want performance. And that's it. Other than that, I'll be on my Xbox. You know what I mean? That's it. It's only for the games I want to get the most out of. That's it.
It's a fair sentiment. And you know what? Thankfully, you're in a position where now, if there is a particular game that you want to see, like Dragon's Dogma, 30 frames on consoles across the board, uncapped, 60 frames. People are playing it like Pong Soul, Steel Rain, Mav from Fun Speculation. They're playing on PC. Awesome. If performance is your bag, and obviously the miles is going to vary. For me, I'm okay with console. I've always been okay with console. I might have played a handful of PC games, but I've never owned a rig, so it's perfectly fine. But look, I want to catch up on
just to add this last part to it.
Yeah, it's good.
If, like you said, you're fine with console, then be fine with it. And what I mean by that is, don't go on Twitter whining about 30 frames, and just accept that for what you've got, because you have to understand that these things are not, even though they did promise some of this. To be fair,
to be absolutely fair, the 60 frames, 4K moving forward as the standard. That's absolutely.
That aside, you all have to understand that the complexities of these things moving up into the visuals they're giving us, such as Hellblade, the crazy visuals they're going to be delivering there with all the technology behind it. You have to be accepting of that for the limitations of what you're going to get on a console, and be fine with it. If you're going to play on console, just be fine with it. Don't go whine about it. That's what I would say. But if you are going to whine and you want performance, then save up to get a PC. That's what I would say.
I agree. I think that, again, it's one of those things. If performance is your bag, and it may very well be, then PC is probably the best place for you. And again, if you're pushing back because Aaron Greenberg said moving forward, the standard will be 4K 60, you have every right, because yes, he did in fact say that. Obviously the complexities of Hellblade, what they're doing, it's nothing like we've seen. Again, just go based on what they said. They have benchmarked Unreal Engine 5. That's crazy on Series X. That's 4 years old. That's only a $500 box. They were able to benchmark Unreal Engine 5. I mean, listen, it's what else could you say about it? But I want to talk about Call of Duty. But before we could do that, I got to catch up on Super Chats. There's been a ton of them. Some really nice comments in here. The first Super Chat of the day comes away of Andre Doyle, generous friend of the program. He drops very generous $2 Super Chat and says, new Call of Duty announcement at the Xbox June showcase. We're going to talk about that. in a second. Roshan Impenger drops a very generous $5 super chat. He says it wasn't foolish, Boom. Don't degrade your natural generous hearts. I will not stand for it. Dude, that is incredibly kind of you to say. Listen, whether we get another sub or we get no subs, we are going to still be the people we are. We're going to keep giving back. We're going to keep upping the ante. If you remember last year, we gave away $1,500 in 2 hours during the Christmas spectacular that we do. This year, thanks to Mrs. Boom, who does all the numbers, we upped it to $2,000. So we're giving $2,000 away in 2 hours. There's no other channel that's doing that. And one of the other things that we're very proud of is that if you're an international viewer and you win a prize, well, you win a prize. We will send it to you via PayPal. We'll send you the cash. We'll pay the transfer fee and the denominational difference in value. So if your country's value is more, we pay the extra money. But that's because we made a promise to you for the support that you give us, and we will continue to do that no matter what happens. So thank you so much for the very kind words. Sith Lord drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, those coins are so cool. Shout out to Ben Kenobi. Yeah, that dude got more talent in his thumbnail than I do with my whole body. Crazy good stuff. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Wait till you see some of the other stuff that I'm privy to that he's working on. Mind-blowing stuff. Gamer by Choice drops a very generous $5 super chat. He says lots of people don't understand the gaming industry. Xbox is positioned for the future. Sometimes us customers don't see the future, but it's coming. Yeah, indeed it is. Absolutely. Great point. Pure Shooter. What's going on, Pure? How you feeling, brother? He drops a very generous $10 super chat. And he says this: I won't buy you a steak dinner, but maybe it can cover part of the tip. Keep it going, Boom. Appreciate the content, brother. That's very kind of you. We super appreciate the generosity. Sith Lord here drops a very generous $2 super chat, an additional $2 super chat. And he says, once I get a new kidney, because yes, he's doing dialysis right now, I'm coming to visit you, Boom. And I'll say this live on the air. When you get here, Mrs. Boom and I will take you, kind sir, out to dinner to celebrate you getting your new kidney. You can lock that in, brother. So thank you so much for being a part of the show and consistently putting us out there on the socials to let people know about Double Barrel Gaming. We love you, and we certainly appreciate it. 901 the Gamer.
Shout out to Sith, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always out there pushing everyone's stuff. No matter who you are, he pushes your stuff. So shout out to Sith Lord for sure. 901 the Gamer drops an outstanding $2 super chat. And he says, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Well, salute to you, kind sir. Thank you for the generosity. And more importantly, thank you for being here. JJ saying 117, generous friend of the program, drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, Xbox and PC are the best for backwards compatibility. Indeed, they are. Makes it better to buy third-party games from there. Also, Xbox should revive the OG Xbox servers. Yeah, I think they absolutely should. Something like Crimson Skies, if they were able to play that multiplayer, I don't know. I have it. I have the disc right here. I bought it. It looks really good on a Series X, but the multiplayer was dope in that game. I'd love to see a revival of that. And wow, we have an outstanding, ridiculous $50 super chat from Tyler Stanley. Tyler, brother, that is crazy generous of you. Thank you so much for that. He says, hey, Boom, 360 was my first console. I switched to PS4 after the launch of the Xbox One. A lot of people did. Series X came out. I switched because Microsoft sold me the plan. 3 years later, I'm on PS5. I own both. Xbox just hasn't delivered for me, and that's what hurts the most. Listen, bro, you know what? You're not wrong. First of all, again, thank you for the outstanding generosity. And you know what? You can't even fight back on that. If they haven't delivered for you, I'd say, I hate saying wait, because we've been waiting for a long time, and we have, because like depending on who you ask, Forza is great, awesome. Gears 5 was amazing. For Halo Infinite, again, your mileage will vary. For me, I have 21 days in Halo Infinite, and I'm not sorry about it. I love it. I think that, Tyler, when you see Hellblade, I think that is going to be the start of the shift that you've been looking for. And just based on what we've seen, you got to remember, when you're seeing what Hellblade 2 looks like. That's compressed data on YouTube. Wait till you get that game on your console, in your home, on your TV. I think that's what you're going to be waiting for. Thanks again so much for the generosity, brother. JJ Sane drops an additional $5 super chat, and he says there has been news reported that younger people are playing retro games more than ever. I guess Jim Ryan was wrong about no one plays old games. Yeah, he's a boob. That's why
He's
he's
been
gone.
wrong about several things, hasn't he?
And indeed, he has, which is why he's no longer the head of SIE. So there you go, or not SIE, PlayStation.
Thank God he's gone.
Yeah. So listen, gentlemen, I want to get into the Call of Duty thing because I really don't think, when you talk about Call of Duty, right? Most people, it's the biggest game of every year. Not last year, surprisingly enough. That title went to Hogwarts Legacy, which is a phenomenal game. If you didn't play it, oh my God,
Loved
you should
it.
play it. It's so freaking good. It's just forget the drama. It's so good. Please play that game. But keeping it tight, keeping it in the circle, Call of Duty. Okay, so Tom Warren of The Verge, I'm sorry, he did report on this, but this story originated from Tom Henderson, and I want to talk about that. Now, I have The Verge report in front of me, and a lot of the big ones, including Jez Corden, talked about this, so I'll use The Verge. Now, obviously, Verge is maybe not a lot of people are big fans. I'm a big fan. I like Tom Warren. I don't always agree with his takes. The same thing with like Paul Tassi. I like Paul a lot, but I don't agree with all his takes, and that's fine. We can have difference of opinions. Well, The Verge is reporting, ladies and gentlemen, and that at the Xbox Game Showcase, which is happening June 9th, that's the rumor, they are reportedly going to include details of this year's Call of Duty from Treyarch, which of course is going to be Black Ops Gulf War. This, folks, is a big deal. And before we get into the actual topic, I got to bring in Jamie Moran, who ratioed a particular journalist who, in my opinion, is the epitome of clickbaitery at its absolute finest. I'm going to let Jamie explain exactly what happened and what he did, who he did it to, and what exactly happened, because good on you, because obviously the coward deleted his tweet. Let's talk about it, Jamie.
Yeah, so this certain, I want to say, professional grifter in the gaming industry put out a post yesterday, and it kind of just struck me the wrong way, because you're meant to be covering games fairly. You're meant to be, like, if you cover game and you have done for years, you should know the facts. And this person basically wrote this: if it's true that Call of Duty will be at at Xbox Summer Showcase, then this Xbox event might be the first one for PlayStation and Nintendo fans too. That's potentially something quite unifying. Now, we all know what he's doing there. We all know the whole, it's an Xbox source show. You're going to have to watch it if you're a PlayStation fan, because they're all going to be multi-plats type thing. And they're just using COD to push that. But COD's been on multiple E3 showcases, and I pointed that out, and I said, you must be new to gaming, because it's been on E3 in the past for Xbox with the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One, and I ratioed him. So he deleted the post.
Indeed, he did.
Yeah, and the thing is, do I take any pride in doing this? Yes, because these people, people pay attention to them. Like last year, I won't mention who, but there's this other industry person with like 250,000 followers on Twitter, said something similar, and I ratioed him as well, and he deleted the post. These people need to be put in the place. They get paid to do this, and they put out these posts with these bad takes, and I'm not having it. Simply put.
I mean, you're not wrong. Again, when you see it, call it out. I do it like yourself. I do it very professionally. I don't, even when I'm making a comment, I don't gif anybody, because if I'm saying something serious, I want it to be taken as such. And this goes for everybody. If you see somebody being disingenuous and you are someone that cares about the particular, conversation that we're having, you're in your rights to say something, as you should. And I'm glad that you did. But you know what? Now that we're talking Call of Duty, let's talk about the importance of this. We mentioned in that report regarding Sarah Bond where Diablo 4 for Xbox is the most played platform of that particular IP. Now, I saw a lot of people poo-pooing that, like, what's the big deal? It's a monster deal because it proves that Game Pass is working because people have a subscription, they drop a game into said subscription, and they are playing the game. But you know what else they're probably doing that no one's reporting on? They're buying stuff in the game because it's a gas game. And maybe someone will spend $20. I wouldn't per se on a skin, but somebody might consider, hey, you know what? I just got Diablo 4, the best version. I got everything. It's in Game Pass. I'm playing it. I see a skin I want. I'm gonna buy the skin. Right? That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of gas games being entangled with a service like Xbox Game Pass. Well, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, whenever it comes out, whatever it's called, whichever team is doing it, it's always the biggest of the year. Last year was an anomaly because Hogwarts is apparently bigger than obviously Call of Duty. But Jamie, let's talk about what I said to open up the show. There is an opportunity here for Xbox to become the place where you play Call of Duty. And the way they're going to do that is drop it into Xbox Game Pass day and date. That is going to set off a frenzy that I don't think people understand. And more so when you consider what I said. Again, I'm not a marketing manager, folks. I'm just a knucklehead podcaster who retired from the NYPD, and now I'm living the dream, right? This is my dream come true, which is why I put so much effort into the channel. I'm doing something that I absolutely love doing, and that's talking about games. Like, what are the chances of that happening? Not really a lot. But when you consider, Jamie, marketing fully under control of Xbox, they're going to slap that on that Series Xbox, and that is going to sell for $200. And when it does, it is going to change the industry as we know it. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, people talk about how Microsoft doesn't market much, and I agree. Like, we need to see more marketing for their first-party games and the consoles, because over here at the minute, you don't see anything. But I think they're going to change that with COD. COD is the biggest game on the planet. If it's not GTA releasing that year, it's pretty much always Call of Duty. Last year was Hogwarts Legacy, and that game was amazing. But I think that was a one-off. I don't think that's going to happen every single year. And this is probably going to be the biggest game of the year because, look, I loved Modern Warfare 3's campaign. As short as
Me
it
too.
was.
I did. Yeah.
Short campaign. But this new game, it's going to have a proper full-length campaign. You know, going to have proper zombies back. Multiplayer is going to be popping off. And this is how I knew this is going to succeed for Microsoft. Back when the Activision deal was first announced, literally hours after it was announced, I went to the supermarket and I bought one of those Xbox gift cards because, you know, why not? And the person behind the till, someone who I know only plays Call of Duty every year, he said, "Did you hear about the Activision thing? I'll be able to play Call of Duty in Game Pass." This is someone that only plays Call of Duty. The 99% of the people that buy these consoles for just this one game. And these people will buy microtransactions. They'll maybe hop into other games and get DLC and expansions or whatever. And it's like, that's where it's going to succeed for Microsoft. And Game Pass is going to continue to grow. And it's an amazing service, you know. I know people that only played first-person shooters, they got Game Pass and now they're into RPGs. Like, that's Microsoft's Trojan horse, really. You're getting people into different genres, spending more money. And that's what Game Pass does. And I think, you know, with Call of Duty, like, there's a lot of anticipation for it because, look, I like Modern Warfare 3. A lot of the community didn't really resonate with it. But Gulf War, there's a lot of Black Ops fans really waiting for this. And I think, you know, Game Pass, Microsoft's first party growing this year. There's the new hardware rumors and stuff. I think it's all going to come together nicely. So while you have like the past 2 months of people losing their minds, like, you just look like Call of Duty is the biggest game. And remember when the marketing switched to PlayStation in I think it was like 2015? There was this weird shift in the community where you had all these Call of Duty content creators just going out buying PlayStations because the map packs went out first on PlayStation. Well, now that isn't really a thing. We all get the maps at the same time, but it's all about the brand thing. You know, the like who's showing up to these events, who's sponsoring these championships and all this stuff. And it's like that's going to be Microsoft, and that's going to be a big deal in the long run.
It's going to be again. Listen, when we talk about monies, I want this to be clear. I don't give a shit because they're not paying. They're not paying for the new home that Mrs. Boom and I are trying to save for. They're not filling the coffers. So I don't care if they make millions of dollars or they don't. But from an Xbox consumer point of view, which I think that is what we need to look at this. Call of Duty is dropping into Xbox Game Pass day and date. We'll not have to spend the $70 or the $80 or the $90 for the the maximum edition. It's going to be in there for you to play. And I think you're onto something. People are going to are less likely to buy a $20 skin when they just spent $100 on the deluxe edition. And maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I will tell you this: if you're paying $16.99, Louis, for your service that drops games in there day and date, like Hellblade, that are dropping games in there, like Diablo 4, that came in obviously after. We're hearing now rumblings that it's imminent, that a monster Call of Duty drop with all of the games dropping into Game Pass. Let me tell you something. I get people have digital libraries, but if you could get every Call of Duty ever released anywhere in one location for $17 a month, you are running to get that, regardless of where you play, because that's a ridiculous value. And there are some people that only play Call of Duty. Let's talk about it, Louis.
Man, I mean, like you said, it's an awesome value. Of course, it's an awesome value. My God, I mean, we're talking about games, that a library of games that we wanted to bring back. I mean, like the other day, I was talking to somebody. They want World of War, to come back. Can you imagine yourself, World of War coming back, and having that thing with the server back and everything? Oh my God, I can just imagine what's gonna happen in the next couple of months. I mean, my Xbox got to market this thing all over the place. They got to grab this and market it all over. This is the place where you can play every single Call of Duty game. My God, let's bring these servers back. Let's get people to hop up in here and everything. I mean, fantastic. They got to market that sucker, because not only market it, they got to bundle it. They got to do everything that Sony was doing back then when they had Call of Duty under their wing. They got to do that. They got to do that so that way people go out there, buy their consoles, get to the service, because really, it's going to be amazing. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next couple of months with COD. My God, they got to grab it and market the hell out of it.
And, Treyarch is doing it. Treyarch has a phenomenal history of doing excellent work with Call of Duty. Black Ops is legendary. Depending on who you ask, most people will tell you that Black Ops is their favorite Call of Duty. This is, like Jamie was saying earlier, it is going to be a full-on, brand new, from the ground up campaign, depicting events that happened during the Gulf War. Obviously, they're fictional because it's a video game, but it's going to use the Gulf War as a backdrop. I don't remember the last time that there was a Call of Duty that actually did the Gulf War. I'm super stoked for it. But again, it's the return of Black Ops. Umbra, this is a monster deal. And when you consider what's being set up here, right? The rumor that's currently circulating, and again, let me pull it up exactly who said it. Now, this was posted by Idle Sloth, obviously the human, not the android that we all thought he was. He's an amazing community member, consistently puts out great pieces of hot take information. So he posted this the other day, Umbra, and he said this: according to Insider Gaming, which of course is Tom Henderson, who have been speaking with their sources, it has been said that Xbox is gearing up for an announcement on its back catalog. So Gulf War may not be the only Call of Duty related announcement that we'll be hearing in June. And obviously he has the picture here of the last, it goes all the way back down to Call of Duty 1. And it's 3 rows of 6 games. That is 18 Call of Duty games that could potentially be dropped, whether they're all at once, whether they're 6 at a time. as an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, Umbra, not only are you gonna, from now moving forward, gonna get Call of Duty in your service every year that it releases, you're gonna have access to the last 18 games in the series. This is a monster deal.
No question, Boom. And the beautiful thing about it is I am glad personally. I don't know about everybody else, but I held off on the Call of Duty games like that. And contrary to my lovely co-panelist there, that blue number, I do not love Call of Duty like that. I do like their stories. I do like the campaign a lot. And shout out to Blue because she has gotten me more into the Call of Duty multiplayer. For me, I don't know if it's brother getting older or what, but that Twitch style shooting, man, I play that and they just run up on me and I'm dead. I'm like, you know what? I don't even know what killed me. What did it? And then show a replay. It's like I still don't know what happened. But so I don't know if I'm just like I don't know if I'm just lost in the sauce when it comes to that game or not. But I do appreciate their campaigns. They put a lot of cinematic, beauty into that. I really do appreciate that. The only one I didn't care for was Ghost Story. I thought that was
a lot of people didn't like. I actually enjoyed it. I liked the missions with the dog. I thought that was amazing.
I like that aspect of it, but I thought other than that, I didn't care for it. I thought it was like Michael Bay, not even Michael Bay. It was like Snyder meets, I don't know, Joel Schumacher or something. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't like it. But anyway, that one aside, the beauty of this whole thing right here, she says, "Get good." Anyway, her slander aside, she's not wrong. Is that because I'm more of a Halo guy, right? But the beauty of this whole thing coming to, and this is what we all been waiting for. Let's just be real. We all knew this. Well, I mean, many of us still want to see them possibly explore getting other Activision games on the service, right? It's about time we're finally hearing some news about this, although not officially. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and it's only right that we would, because this is, the year's up as far as marketing goes for PlayStation with the Call of Duty franchise. So, as we speculated before, it's pretty clear that Call of Duty is still a big deal. Only, like you said, being beat out by Hogwarts last year, which is just a rarity and lightning in a bottle. And we know part of why that was the counterculture to Hogwarts being kind of, ragged against. So people were like, I'm going to buy 2 copies, right? But on a normal instance, Call of Duty is king. So absolutely is going to do crazy numbers once it finally hits Game Pass itself, and they can start marketing it on their Xboxes and stuff like that on the boxes they sell. It's definitely going to carry some weight. And I think we kind of underestimate it because we typically look at it in our own, I guess, hardcore circle as to other games we all play, because we play so many different games, all of us. So when you have the more casual hardcore crowd, that's what I've dubbed them, the casual hardcores, because they'll casually play games differently than we would. They won't play everything, but when they play a game that they're dedicated to, like a Call of Duty or a 2K, NBA 2K, they're hardcore to those games, specifically to those. So I call those casual hardcore. I made up a new word, the harduals. Anyway, but yeah, so I think it'll be beautiful, man, once those finally hit like this. Now, I did say this before, and I still have a bit of trepidation when it comes to how Microsoft might handle this, because to me, it feels almost like it's too good to be true. And what I mean by that is that it feels like they might try to nickel and dime us somehow. And I hope they don't do that. I feel like they might be like, well, you can get this. Well, here's the new Game Pass tier to get the Call of
I hope not.
I hope they don't do that either. I hope it's just what it is and we get it straight to it, like we've been thinking they would do it first. And I also hope that some of these games are fairly dated, right, too. So I do hope that they go back to the well of a lot of these as they've done with the Modern Warfare titles and modernize them. It's too much money to leave on the table with some of these. Some of these are classics, even outside of Modern Warfare. I know a lot of people love Black Ops. You can redo those, remake them with the updated visuals and stuff like that. It's so much money to be had from that, and so many good experiences from us as consumers and gamers. So I hope that my suspicion that they'll try to get over on us is not true. and they just put the game on the service. I will say though that regarding the Game Pass tiers, the ultimate users are likely going to be the only ones that get it. If you're a core user, you're not getting that. So
As you, I mean, again, I don't think so. It might be like an ultimate thing.
I
That's
think it will
my
be.
thoughts.
Yeah. I think it will be, and I don't think they're wrong to do that if that is the case. I would say, yeah, you shouldn't be getting everything as a core user. You're going to have to put a little change into it and get the ultimate experience. So I'm all for that if that's the route they go. I would rather that than them trying to go another route by saying, well, you'll get it, but maybe 6 months later, or here's another tier, right? I'll take that as long as my ultimate subscription covers it, and the core members can just pay a bit more to get the ultimate. I think it's a win-win for everybody involved, and definitely so for Microsoft if everything goes according to plan. It's still going to sell like hotcakes even on other platforms, so it is what it is. But it's a W all the way around, I'm very excited to see what they show us in June.
Yeah, me too. I think June is going to be ridiculous. I'm super excited about it, as we all should be. This is going to be. I mean, if we just go based on what they have done the last couple of shows, every time they just keep getting better. And we're going to get updates on games with release dates that are happening this year. I would imagine that we're going to get a ton of new stuff. I mean, look, we're hearing in the background, right, from everyone that Gear 6 is going to be revealed, and that you've actually heard Shinobi 602 say, we are not ready for what they're doing with Unreal Engine 5, right, for the next Gears. Benchmarking it once again. You're hearing State of Decay 3 might be there. You're hearing that Perfect Dark might be there. You're hearing now, I think it was on Colt Eastwood show last night, because someone DM'd me. And do me a favor, chat. I haven't listened to the show. It's what I'm going to listen to it later. That it was mentioned that there might be some new Halo information. Like what? Like okay.
I watched it, Boom. I can speak to it if you want to hear a bit about it.
Please, you know what? Let's transition to that, because I think that is a conversation I want to have. I am a Halo guy. I have been since we can play Halo on the OG Xbox. My brother and I used to train literally with other gamers to play Halo multiplayer. I'm not a tournament guy, but my favorite experience in Halo was Halo 3 by leaps and bounds. And I got to tell you, folks, that has changed. Halo Infinite, for me personally, has become tip of the spear. I have almost 22 days in Halo, and I am wrecking MFs on a regular basis. 20 kills almost every match. That's how much I play of it. Am I a professional? Absolutely not. But I am, for an old bastard, pretty damn good. And I love it. And listen, if there's one major criticism that I have for 343 and how Halo Infinite was handled, there was no continuation of the story. We don't know what happened to Locke. We don't know what happened to Team Osiris and Bucky. And Buck and the rest of them. There's so many unanswered questions that could have come the way of DLC. We know we're not getting it. We were expecting the Flood. Nothing. We got nothing on that. They're on Halo Zeta, right? If you know anything about the books, that's where they created the Flood. Why aren't we telling those stories? I have no idea. But, and we're going to go to Ember first on this, let's talk about what they said on Colt Eastwood show last night.
So 100% agree with you on all of that. I want to say they dropped the ball. They did drop the ball, right? It's very clear.
Yeah.
Because there's too much story potential with Zeta Halo and all of that, and the lore behind everything. It is way too much that they're not touching on. Or at least so we think. So what Colt and Mag, I don't want to say Mag too much, because poor Mag. Shout out to our brother Mag. Mag I feel like he got a bit of PTSD because he had been abused and abused by some people so badly because of what he put out there to viewers on past things that he has contacts about. And it has changed that, man. So when they were talking about the Halo situation, he didn't even speak on it. Like Colt came to him and was like, yeah, such and such and such. And Mag was just sitting there like, well, he didn't want to talk. I got to reach out to the brother. I hope he's good. But some of the folks in the community, I don't want to say our community, well, some of them are in our community, unfortunately. They've been unkind to him. But from what Colt spoke on, which had me super excited, and it's something we had heard already, guys, if you didn't know, the whole Unreal Engine thing, which I'm a big proponent of.
I think it's your middle name in real life. Like it's Infinite UE5 Umbra.
Infinite Unreal Umbra. Like maybe I should go get that legally changed to that. Yeah. I feel like they need to, drop me a sponsorship or something. But I will say, man, we had heard these rumors before that with certain affinity that they were working on something that's possibly we heard two things. One was campaign related, possibly, and then we heard, oh no, it'll be a battle royale, right? Then all of a sudden we're hearing, well, nope, that project is over with. And I thought that was so odd. It's like you put all that money into that; it had to be millions, and you're just like, we're not going to go through with it. When the community is clamoring for more when it comes to story-based situations with Halo, I thought that was odd. So now hearing this, it reignites that thought that they never stopped. They never stopped with what they were doing. We heard that they were working with Unreal Engine before. So Colt was saying that the rumor is, or at least from the sources he heard, is that they are moving on, and we might get this. I believe he said as soon as, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember exactly when he said it, but it sounded like he was alluding to either this year or next year, later this year or next year, when we would get this next Halo. So I don't know how true that is. I hope it's true, because like you, Halo is I think Halo is my favorite franchise, actually, not one of. It is my favorite franchise. So I hope that is true. Roughly, it'll be Unreal Engine 5 that they'll be using, or Unreal Engine at least. I don't know if it'll be 5, since 5 seems to have a lot of troubles with some developers. So we could expect it to be gorgeous. I think, well, to be fair, I think Infinite is gorgeous in its own right.
I mean, look, Hargeet Chani says, say what you want about the current engine for Halo. I get to play in 120 frames. And yes, I'll tell you this right now. The TV that I got last year was a 2024 TV. It is a Samsung, tip of the spear. I have never personally owned a TV this good, and I do play. It has all the bells and whistles that you could possibly want, including VRR. It runs Halo Infinite for me when I'm playing at 120 frames. It's ridiculous how good that game looks.
It's really great. And I mean, and to be fair, you don't even need 120 frames. Like 60 frames will do you just fine. But hell, hey, if we can get it, why not, right? But I'll say this, like, to me, where there's smoke, there's fire. This rumor just popped back up again. I believe that, I'll just say this. I don't know how much is true. I hope it's true. And I will say, because it was a question during Kay's and Everborn's podcast where they asked, do you guys think this summer event will reignite and quiet? That's right, Hargeet. That's right. But do you think this summer event will reignite the joy and passion in the community and take away from all of this negativity that we've been seeing a lot? And I said, absolutely. If they can have a show as great as they did last year, the little woes and doom and gloom, all of that is out of the window. Nobody's going to care about that anymore. If they can land on what we think they're going to land on, what we're just speaking about with the Call of Duties, and if they dare show Halo in Unreal Engine, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to lose my stuff. So I'm excited for the possibility. But that's all they really touched on. I think I know from what he was saying, Mag didn't want to. He knew more. He just didn't speak on it, and because again, he had been so abused by people from just giving off the little he did know before. So unfortunately, but I feel like I need to hit him up hey brother, you think you can drop off a little info to me or something? I don't know. I need to hit him up, but here's hoping.
I mean, look, any Halo news is good news in my opinion. We've been waiting. Look, again, I'm not trying to sell you the game, folks. If you've played Halo multiplayer, there is no better time than to get back to it. It is so fast. It is so good that it's just, all I can say is that I want to put another 22 days into this thing. If you look at the games that I play, I have like maybe what 3/4 of the achievement. I think there's like 2,000 achievements what that are available. I think I have like 1,300 or something like that. Listen, I don't play for the achievements. I play for the fact that it is amazing. I have a ton of footage, as you can see, that I'm wrecking dudes. I love using the hammer, but of course, who doesn't like using the energy sword? I've been murking people left, right, and center to the point where I felt like Jason Voorhees. It was crazy. Listen, before we bring in the Crazy Lou Gaming, let me catch up on some super chats. Been quite a few of them. We have Sapo, who's in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you as always. She drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, did you hear that Stalker 2 is targeting both quality and performance modes? Hashtag free Square Enix. Yes, I actually have heard that. And I mean, that game is another Unreal Engine 5 game that's going to melt our faces. Now, if they have a performance mode, that's going to be pretty dope. But, you know, again, play how you want to play. If they offer it, great. I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of which, being that you mentioned Stalker 2, if you didn't know, folks, one of the first ginormous giveaways that we're doing in September is, in fact, to celebrate Stalker 2. We are giving away 15 copies at launch. That's right. You heard it. 15 copies that we're buying at full price, $76.43 here in New Rochelle. And we're doing it to actually support the devs. If you know the history of that team, they've been through it. And Mrs. Boom and I are doing like our own little mom and pop way of supporting the dev by buying 15 copies at full boat and giving those away. That's going to be our first big one. I believe when in September is it? Is it towards the end? I think it's closer to the end of September. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll make an announcement as we get out of the summer. In August, we'll make that announcement of what we're doing. But yeah, 15 copies we're giving away. So thank you so much for the generosity. FBI agent in the chat drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, Phil sold us on great exclusives and under-delivered. Brother, I'm not fighting you on that. If that's what you feel, that's what you feel. But all I can say is that the future, I mean, the roadmap is there. The games are there. I think they've delivered. If you don't, I get it. And again, I'm not gonna argue with it. If you as a customer feel like they under-delivered, brother, that is your prerogative. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you for being here as always. Son of Skyrim, who's been a channel member for 8 months. Dude, thank you so much for the support. He says this: if you don't get any news about Shattered Space soon, I'm canceling Game Pass until they do, with a laughing emoji. That's obviously, I think that's going to be an announcement in June. We're not too far away from June. I think they announce it and we get it maybe in September. Again, that's just my thoughts on it. It would be cool to get it sooner, because I got to get back to Skyrim to Starfield. Lieutenant Hulk in the chat drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, for me, Xbox has 3 pillars that makes it great. Hashtag simplicity between any hardware, hashtag convenience with Play Anywhere, and hashtag value, saving money, hashtag Xbox is life, LOL. Nothing wrong with that. I agree with everything. I think that this is, again, from a kid that didn't grow up with a whole lot of money. The thing I love about Xbox, the thing that makes me so passionate about the brand, sure, it's their IP, sure, it's leadership, but from a ground level, and I think that more people need to think about this. Right now in the world, it's not the greatest for a lot of families, and kids want to play games, and some families can't afford to keep buying these games at $70 a pop. What Game Pass does is allow for just about every financial station to be a part of the conversation in gaming. And I think that in itself is magical. No other platform is doing that. and no one honestly talks about that. $17 a month for the ultimate or $10 for console, you are getting your value worth. And you can, I mean, again, I don't know. Maybe somebody can't afford 17 bucks a month. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna judge. But out of all of the available platforms that you can play, it's probably the most affordable. So great points all around, Lieutenant Hulk. He drops on a second additional $2 super chat and says, "Boom! I'm telling you, set up a community game night, dude. I swear I'm trying. I'm gonna figure it out. It's just Mrs. Boom is priority when it comes to the evening, so it's very tough. Like if she ever stays over her sisters or goes out with friends, I will, whatever day that is, I'm doing a ginormous 4-hour stream where we can all just hang out and play games. I promise you, Lieutenant Hulk. Crazy Lou Gaming. Let's talk about this. What are your thoughts on the potential of getting new Halo news based on what Colt Eastwood had to say on his show? I think we're all in need of good, positive Halo news. What about you, man?
Man, any good news is always positive. Like I said, when you go out there and talk good stuff, good rumors. I mean, I'm always happy to hear about good rumors, not these bad rumors that have been going around. And man, if this is true, Halo is going to Unreal. That means, Boom, that we're gonna get we might get also new content, since they have a lot of issues developing under what they're using right now, that engine they're using, which I forgot the name. What was the name of that, Umbra? Since
Space. Yeah.
So that means they can work on new stuff, bring up new content that needs to be brought to Halo, so they can get Halo on the road, which they have been getting on the road, but they're gonna just make it better. Really happy about it. That if that rumor does go through, because we've been how many times have we heard this already? We've been hearing it like a couple of times. I mean, this rumor about them going to Unreal 5. But if it does, man, bring it. That means new content for us, more fun for us. Let's do it. Bring up the good news. Bring up the good rumors. That's what we want.
Yeah, I mean, an Unreal Engine 5 single-player story-driven Halo. Holy shit. Because I don't think they need to do anything with infinite multiplayer. I just don't. I think it's phenomenal where it is. It looks good, runs super fast, consistent updating it. Obviously, you've seen by my pictures, you see some of the Spartan outfits that I have, just legendary stuff. And again, it's the gameplay is so they don't leave that, let them do that what it is. But for a single player story driven experience, and of course, Umbra's going to agree, an Unreal Engine 5 Halo sounds great to me. Jamie, let's talk about it, brother. Let's just say, for shits and giggles, along with all of the release dates for the games this year, you get State of Decay. Potentially, you're getting a new Doom dropping, right? Some new Doom information. And all of that, you get some new Halo news and Unreal Engine 5 Halo news. Yes, sign me up, please. Let's talk about it.
As someone that loves Halo specifically for the campaigns, my hype would go through the roof.
Yeah,
because,
man.
let's be honest, right? We live in an age where multiplayer goes on for years now. It's not like back in like 2010 where a new multiplayer game would come out every year and then the sequel would come out with more multiplayer. We live in an age where multiplayer just continues for years. You have Fortnite, Warzone, and Halo Infinite is basically that. You know, they don't need to do a new Halo multiplayer. They could just continue to expand on what they already have. People love what Halo Infinite is now, and it's taken a while for Halo Infinite to get into shape, but people bloody love that thing now. So all they have to do is put out a single player, and then you have certain affinity that's, well, they've said they're working on an Xbox IP, and like an established IP. And with the Unreal Engine rumors, like it kind of does line up, because even though campaigns, they do take a long time to make, like the fact that you'd have an entire team working only on a campaign. And I feel like it's been long enough. And, you know, you have like Halo's a big enough IP that they should be coming out with a new game every few years in different genres. You know, first person shooters, third person shooters, RTS games, the list goes on. I think it's time. I think, you know, if they do hypothetically come out with anything Halo related this year, it'll just top off the year, because you have Avowed, you have Hellblade 2, You have Flight Simulator,
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, and you know you have the smaller games like Age of Mythology and that coming to console. It's going to be a big year for Microsoft. So along with the Call of Duty marketing, like I'm an optimist, so I'm leaning towards the Halo stuff being real, simply because Certain and Affinity have been working on something for a long time now.
Yep.
We just don't know what. And if it is just look, for me, Halo only has to be a campaign. I don't play multiplayer anymore, not really. And like Halo Infinite, let that continue to grow. The team's already making, content for that. Halo just needs to be a campaign this year. They don't need to pop out a brand new multiplayer that plays differently on a new engine, like an Unreal Engine 5 Halo campaign. That's all they need to do. And personally, I hope it is a thing, because that's like my most anticipated game at the minute is Indiana Jones, but I think Halo would top that.
Just to add to that, I looked at it to make sure again. So allegedly it's a spinoff.
Yes.
It might not be related to the main campaign. So it might be a spinoff, which is even better if they're using a different engine. It should be less of a fuss for people where they're like, well, I was used to this version. It'll be a spinoff. So they'll actually be taking advantage of the greater lore, it sounds like. And it will be Unreal Engine 5.
Yes. Okay. So I'm not breaking any NDAs here. It's out in the ether. So I can confirm that is what I have heard. Even before it was revealed last night. The best thing I can say about what they talked about, because I watched it when everyone was talking, I was looking at it as well, is that it is not expected to be the way I heard it. Again, this is it's out there that it is not. It's separated from it, so it's going to be another story. I don't know the particulars of what that story could be. The only thing that comes to mind for me personally is Halo 3 with Buck. Why am I blanking on the name?
You're thinking of ODST, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, ODST. I have been saying, and again, folks, I'm going to pitch you on my Halo, right? Xbox, Microsoft, if you're listening, you can get me for cheap. I don't even need the 6 figures. So here, my idea for a Halo project is this, and I don't have the talent to do it, so it's never going to come to fruition. But I'll throw the idea, the $1 million idea, out there for everyone. Okay, get ready. Here we go.
I got one too.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll talk about it. We'll get into that. My idea for a Halo game that's different than shooty bang bang is to get to go back to Zeta Halo, and where the flood was being created. And if you read the books, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just imagine this for a second. The shit hits the fan, as it does in all horror movies, and you're one of the scientists that are left. Kind of like Alien Isolation, where there is some gunplay, but you're a scientist, and you've radioed, to be picked up. A dropship is coming for you, but you got to make it to the end. This could be an 8 or 10 hour, maybe a 12-hour, campaign, and it could be horror based, where obviously there are scientists that are now been taken over by the flood, and you're trying to make it to the end alive. And I'm not saying it's going to be like like for instance,
survival horror kind of thing.
Why not? So you find a gun, you get the handgun, you find the pulse rifle, you gotta start the computer to get through this door, and it's dark and it's scary, and you're by yourself, and you run into other people that are still left, and maybe you can help some people on the way to get, obviously the more people you find to get evac'd, the better score you're going to get, whatever. But it could be one heck of a story where you make decisions, and the ultimate end goal is, did you help this scientist that was trapped, locked in a locker, or did you leave him to die? And does that particular choice hurt you towards the end? I think it's a brilliant idea. It's something they've never done before, and I will play that.
Would you want it to be single player or multiplayer?
Single player only. Single player only, no multiplayer, no co-op, because then it becomes shooty bang bang. I want a story-driven horror-based Halo, which again, if you played Halo 2,
Ooh.
that whole flood thing was survival horror. It was awesome.
Hell, Halo 1 when we first introduced to them.
There you
And
go.
CE, I thought
Yes.
I was terrified of those things. I'm like, what is he? What is he? What's the noise it's making? Get away from! I was terrified of little popcorns. But I will say this too, Boom. What if they had it where you can get like multiple endings depending on what you were just describing? So if you don't
Love it.
rescue people and maybe they don't activate something that gives you a better ending, for instance. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, man. That's
I like
I
that
mean, again,
idea.
there's opportunities, and one thing that we know that Microsoft has in abundance is teams, and teams that have worked on first person story driven content like, I don't know, Call of Duty. And they have a lot of teams that could, I mean, again, Phil's not going to demand that they work on it, but throw it out there in an email to the team. Hey, listen, would you ever be considered about working on Halo? Yeah, apply here. And they do this. Louis, let's hear your take on what a new Halo could be.
Oh man, I was gonna go multiplayer, but because I had an idea for a good battle royale. If they actually sat down and did a battle royale, which I'm hoping they have that in plan, because I kind of think Halo needs a battle royale. But instead of my idea was that it should be like how we saw it in the episode. We saw Master Chief and his team go out there and fight against all these enemies without their suit. You land, you gotta grab some armor, grab some suits, grab weapons, in order to get like the Master Chief suit, kind of like a PUBG type of thing. But instead of having gas coming around in a circle, let's have the flood, coming around. And if the flood grabs you, they eat you alive or tear you into pieces, stuff like that. I mean, that's my idea for a good battle royale for Halo. If that happens, oh my god, it would be great. It would be great. But yeah.
I think it's a phenomenal idea. Boss Red 77 says Hell Jumpers versus Hell Divers. Oh, that would be dope.
Oh man.
And something there again, there's a team as a the hell's the name of the team? They're Forgers. I can't remember their name. His name is it the something Falcons? Yeah, there's a Forge group that makes content for Forge, and they're currently working on an actual Hell Jumpers, Hell Divers mode that's going to be dropped into Forge. It's a full-on game with upgrades and like the whole nine. It looks. I mean, I haven't seen it.
It's insane how great Forge is in Halo.
Yep.
I don't think he gets enough credit and love personally, especially what these guys come up with.
I've seen Star Wars boards. I've seen alien ship boards. Like literally, you're running around with aliens, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like it is so freaking good. Look, at the end of the day, folks, Halo, it appears, is going to be coming back in a big way. I'm here for it. I think that the franchise, even though it's doing super well for multiplayer, I think that when you speak to most people who are fans of Halo will equate their love for the franchise through the single player. And I think that they really did drop the ball with not extending the story further past what we got. Because if you played Halo Infinite, it is an amazing story with a ginormous cliffhanger ending that we will never see come to fruition. It's heartbreaking if you were a fan. I loved, and again, I spent hours in Halo Infinite single player trying to find all of the recorded tapes. I think I'm missing like 3 or 4 for the achievement. I'm pissed because I can't find them. It's crazy, but
you need to jump back in there, Boom. Let a brother know. I'll jump in there.
Absolutely.
One thing I'll say though on the campaign, and I agree with you, I loved it too. What I didn't like is that we finding these audio recordings. Imagine had we actually seen that in cutscenes. Like that's what they need to get back to. Show, don't tell. I don't want to just pick up a recording on this happened. Like, no, imagine having actually seen those blur level cutscenes of what happened to Fire Team Osiris. Because we see Locke, clearly they hit the Roots had his helmet and such and his armor pieces. Like, what happened? We got to know that, and they can't just leave it off on that cliffhanger. They're going to have to continue that story on the next one whenever they do get into making it. They can't just abandon that. this time. They did that. They made that mistake with 5 going into this one. They can't do it again. Or should I
I
say
agree.
4 going into
Yeah.
5? They did it twice. 4 going into 5, and then more 5 into this, but still.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that whatever story they're going to tell, it needs we can't have this happen again. Like if you're moving to Unreal Engine 5, we're telling a new story. Great. Whenever they decide Master Chief is going to come back, we cannot have this kind of shenanigans. We just can't. Look, I know we got about 25 minutes, so we're gonna end on a 2-hour show, right? Obviously, we've already killed it with the great topics. Everyone's had some amazing opinions. We had over 900 live viewers. Now, again, that was over 500 on YouTube, and we had almost 400 on Twitter, which is freaking awesome. So of course I have to, this is the time where I got to ask folks, because if I don't ask, then I'm doing a disservice to the channel. If you're finding the channel, I saw a lot of new names here. I ask that you consider subscribing. That's all. Just simply hit the subscribe button. And if you're feeling super generous, hit the bell icon. So every time I do content, you know that I'm live. And I do go live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. All great panels, all great community members. And you know what we don't do? We don't sell you on hate. We don't hate monger. And we certainly don't try to rope-a-dope you by clickbaiting you into the show to get the sub or the like. What you see is what you get. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs. And whenever we start talking about big topics, I do go right back to the sources and give those sources the credit they deserve for posting what we're using. And they're also always included in the show notes. But this one is kind of silly. And now I can't find it. Ham Solo, who of course is one of the lead voices at TSWS Gaming. He works with Lulk7 on a regular basis. Phenomenal YouTube channel that you should be subscribed to. He had put out, I found it. Oh, okay, here it is. I'm going to share this, Ham Solo. Gaming Bolt did a video about Hellblade. And why I want to talk about this is because he specifically, Ham Solo, who's in the chat, shout out to you, brother. He says, so there's no Xbox tax. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Gaming Bolt. Now, what he had put here is it's a video, and why he did the video. And again, there was some cursing in here, so I don't know if I want to use the video. Let me do. Because I got to give him credit where credit is due. Gaming Bolt basically had said, how amazing Hellblade 2 looks. This is great. It's going to be, it potentially be a game of the year conversation. But it wasn't just that. It was what they said afterwards, that, the fine folks at Ninja Theory have worked so hard that it should come to other platforms. This is when you get into the thing like, my God, like, what are you folks doing over there at Gaming Bolt? You don't have PCs. You don't have an Xbox. Oh, because PlayStation supports the channel through EdRev, so you can't say this looks good on Xbox without saying why can't it be on PlayStation. I think that is ridiculous at this point. Now, to be fair, Microsoft kind of left that door open by putting games onto PlayStation. This, in my opinion, folks, should definitely not be one of them. If this is as groundbreaking and as jaw-dropping as places like IGN giving a compliment to Xbox, I still can't believe it, folks, to be honest with you. But yeah, they're giving compliments. Kotaku has nice things to say about this game. Shocking. GameSpot, another one. Holy cow, I'm falling over in my chair. They actually said something nice about an Xbox game. Say what? But I'm going to do a screen share. This is a slanderous video by TSWS Gaming, Ham Solo himself. I'm using your tweet, fella, because obviously I want to help support your channel, and people should subscribe to you. But this was good. Hold on just a second. Let me do a screen share. Here it is right now. Let me do the share. Let me just blow it up for you folks to see. Here we go.
Ninja Theory's long-awaited sequel to 2017's award-winning Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is finally upon us. Even though it's a Microsoft exclusive coming to Xbox Series X and S.
Man, this is some bullshit!
Even though it's a Microsoft exclusive coming to Xbox Series X and S.
Why would you say that, bro? Why would you say that, bro? Why?
PC, cloud, and Game Pass day one, the next chapter in Senua's saga is set to be one of the biggest games of the year. Game of the year. Hopefully, it'll come to more platforms than Xbox and PC.
Why would you say that? Why? 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 Why?
Hopefully, it'll come to more platforms than Xbox and PC.
Boo this man!
As the effort and dedication Ninja Theory have put into the sequel deserve to be played by as many gamers as possible.
Bro,
Fake chain.
why you?
So I'm gonna stop it right there because obviously we don't want to get ratioed by YouTube. But look, that's what we're talking about, folks. Instead of just, hey, Xbox gamers are finally getting their hashtag just one, like, aka Cognito of Iron Lords. We're hearing this conversation moving forward about, well, hopefully it comes to other platforms. I don't understand it. Just buy an Xbox. Why can't you just buy an Xbox? Umbra, let's quickly dive through this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Shout out to our brother Ham. It's ridiculous, and we can make it real simple. You don't hear them doing that from PlayStation to Xbox. So why then pull that in reverse? And that's the biggest problem. I mean, it's dumb. It's port begging for one, and it only drives home. That's part of the issue with them Xbox, putting games on other platforms as they did, bringing some of those games over, because now it's opened the door for a lot of these hacks who already had the disdain for Xbox and didn't really care for the platform already. So now they're like, well, they've done it for these games, so why not this? This game deserves it too, right? It opens that door, but you don't hear them doing it for PlayStation. You don't hear them doing it for third-party PlayStation games. Like, why is there no reports of them saying, Final Fantasy Rebirth, for instance, third-party game, clearly reviewing well. Why does that not deserve to be on Xbox, for instance? Why is there no Gaming Bolt type of, video or article about that? But they'll do it for Hellblade, and we know why. I definitely think it's a bit of that the Xbox tax in play. And what we've seen, and the problem is, because a lot of people tried to make it like, oh, it's this weird conspiracy thing. It's not really that. Now, some did take it too far, of course, in that the tinfoil hattery, but it's simply that a lot of these guys in the media are biased, and their bias will dictate how they report things or not report things. And that is part of what helps paint a certain narrative about the brand, and they've been doing it for a long time. So then when you point it out, you have those who want to defend the status quo, and no, you guys are just fanatical in this or that, and
tinfoil hat wearing.
Yeah. So they try to dismiss us as those who are just too over the top. And sometimes these examples are blatant. It's okay to say, yeah, okay, that's an example in your favor. I get that. Some people try to deny everything, but this is definitely that, and it's stupid.
I agree, Louis. I know you got to get on out of here, brother. Let's get your hot take on this. Gaming Bolt actually had something nice to say, and of course ruined it by saying we hope it comes to more other platforms. What other platforms are you talking about? Nintendo Switch 2? Oh no, you mean PlayStation 5?
PlayStation, of course.
Oh, I mean, it's available on PC. It's available on Xbox day and date. What's the problem? I don't know.
That's the thing, though, Boom. I don't get why they always gotta add the 2 cents. I mean, we talked about this before when they showed the Hellblade pictures. I remember that we read through the article that was saying, "Oh, look, these pictures look beautiful." And then we see that little add-on because they always gotta talk negative about Xbox. Every single time. I don't get it. Why do they always gotta talk bad about Xbox? That's something I don't get. Every single time it gets me. I mean, we saw the pictures, they were like, oh, these pictures look fabulous, but hey, it's not releasing on physical editions. What are we talking about here? I mean, what are we talking about how beautiful these pictures look and stuff? I mean, I don't get it. Why don't you talk more about the game and how beautiful it's gonna look? No, you gotta talk about they're not getting physical editions. Now we get this from Gaming Bolt. They're going out there talking beautiful about the game, and of course they gotta add the 2 cents into it. But yeah, it should get released to other. Why?
Yeah.
Why do y'all always gotta add those 2 cents? And like what Umber says, there is an Xbox tax. Yes, it does exist, and it's a shame that every time they say something good about Xbox, they gotta add always the 2 cents negative to it. Because seriously, why don't they ask Sony, when are you guys gonna come to Xbox? Why don't they ask when is Helldivers gonna come to Xbox? Why don't they ask when is God of War coming to Xbox? They don't do that. Every game that Sony comes out, they talk about it, but they don't say, hey, it might come to Xbox in the near future. They don't talk about it. It's always Xbox they gotta talk about and talk about it. Always. This is a shame. It's a shame.
No, it's fine, brother. Listen, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy where you obviously sell your brand on the way out. Talk about the Xbox International Podcast, where people can subscribe and, more importantly, follow you on social media.
Oh man, you can find the crazy one on Twitter at Crazy Louis Gaming, where I do good morning videos, do all sorts of crazy stuff, and the Xbox International Podcast at 7 p.m. ET on Wednesday. Which this week we have Shane Bailey joining the show. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So tune in. And boom, thank you for having me on the show again. Man, it's been fun. I will see y'all next Tuesday, and I'll see y'all tomorrow on the Xbox International Podcast. Bye, everyone.
Brother. Thanks so much. And finally, Jamie Moran, let's on closing of the show, let's talk about that, because it's funny how when Senua was announced as a digital only game, there was a tremendous amount of pushback. I think Ryan McCaffrey of IGN was like, "Yeah, I want my disc. This isn't right." But you know what? You know who also didn't have a physical version that's, from the company themselves? That would be Alan Wake 2, which won a lot of awards last year. That didn't get a physical release, but no one said anything. But Senua, obviously Hellblade 2, no physical release. It's a problem. But let's talk about Gaming Bolt here for a second. It is becoming a norm, and I will admit this. This is a bit of Microsoft's fault. They should have never opened the door for exclusives until they were already, dropping these bombs. And they did it, as a test, and it, based on the sales of Pentiment and based on the sales of Hi-Fi Rush, it is a failure. And what does that equate to? I don't know. We'll see what happens with Grounded and Sea of Thieves, whether or not that's going to be, a big thing or it's not. But at the end of the day, hearing and Gaming Bolt's pretty big. It's not like they're a mom and pop kind of an organization. Instead of just giving the compliment on how great Hellblade 2 looks and how amazing Xbox gamers are going to have with their #just1, we hope that this and again, it was very facetious. Oh well, the team was worked so hard. It would be a shame not to be on other platforms. Shut up. Are you kidding me with that double talk? Let's break it down.
Insomniac put a lot of work into Spider-Man. Wouldn't it have been better for everyone if more gamers could have experienced it? Wouldn't it have been more beneficial to Sony and Insomniac if they could have gotten money from Xbox gamers, Nintendo gamers, and PC gamers day one? Yeah, but we don't see that same energy from the other for the other companies, and I think it's a weird systemic issue of you have gamers, and I'm just snowballing here. Most Xbox gamers that are adults started off as PlayStation fans, and I think when you look at a lot of media folk, Game & Bolt, IGN, GameSpot, a lot of those people, they didn't change preference when they were teenagers or 20-year-olds or whatever. So, as they've gotten older, they've continued to prefer PlayStation, and they let that interfere with the work. when Indiana Jones gameplay debuted and everyone had motion sickness all of a sudden, I remember seeing people at certain media outlets asking straight away, "Oh, I'm surely this is coming to PlayStation." And yet, Microsoft did open up Pandora's box with the multi-platform stuff. They did, but this stuff was going on beforehand. So, like, yeah, Microsoft is at fault definitely for the whole four multi-plat things, but like we don't see the same energy for other titles on PlayStation. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake. People say Japanese games don't sell on Xbox. They can say that all day.
That's a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. But Final Fantasy VII is a household name. You can throw a stone in a random direction, hit someone, and they'll have heard of Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
The 7 remake would have sold on Xbox, but I never saw a single article by IGN or GameSpot, anyone even asking, "Where's this game for Xbox?" Sony money had these third-party games every single year, and we don't see any of that same energy. And Microsoft dare has a first-party game to themselves, and they get questions for it. Like, wouldn't it be cool if it comes to PlayStation and Switch? Like, when Pentiment first came out, one of the first questions I remember GameSpot asking the creative director of Pentiment was, "Hey, do you think this could come to Switch?" This was before all the rumors, before all the multi-plat stuff. Like, people were asking this, and like, it's annoying because if you point it out, people say you're wearing a tinfoil hat, but the evidence is right there. You just need eyeballs and ears. And like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because like we haven't to point out the obvious. And like, no matter how much we say this and point it out, we get called crazy, but it's right there. And we have to keep calling them out because, again, like Hellblade 2 is being developed for the ground up for Xbox Series XS and PC. PlayStation has never been in the conversation for the sequel. The first game launched digitally. The sequel is launching digitally, and people have an issue with it. Alan Wake launched digitally, and there was nowhere near the amount of backlash. And that was a multi-platform game because there was no energy for that. And it's just annoying because, again, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because I'm having to point out the obvious, but we have to point it out. And like Game and Bolt, all these other places, they should be fair, but they aren't. They aren't fair at all. And it really shows. And when Indiana Jones comes out later this year, and when Avowed comes out later this year, pay attention to what these people say because they will say the same thing. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if all the effort and energy, Machine Games put into Indiana Jones, shouldn't more Indiana Jones fans be able to play this game? They're going to do it. And it's a shame. Yeah. Just buy an Xbox,
Just buy an Xbox or play on PC, which a lot of these people have. It's frustrating, but at the end of the day, I just thought it would be a good way to kind of just bring some light to a conversation that made the rounds. And again, shout out to TSWS Gaming, Han Solo. It's Ham Solo, and of course Lauk 7, which of course they do an amazing job over there at TSWS Gaming. And hopefully you gentlemen will join us this Friday morning. We'll see if we get you both on to kind of talk about, well, whatever is going on. There is a lot to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here. Crazy Lou Gaming obviously had a family thing he had to attend. That's why he left a little early. Let's get to the outros. But before we do, we got to thank a few other people. Lieutenant Hulk drops an additional, very generous $2 super chat. And he says, nah, boom, ODST search and rescue and bring back Noble 6. Yep, I'll buy that. I'll buy that full ball.
I'll buy that for $1.
Indeed, I would. Absolutely. Well, that's great.
I hate to break it to you, though, brother, but Noble, I don't think he made that one. But keep the hope alive.
I mean, you could. It could be an Elseworlds tale. We'll see.
Yeah. There we go. What if you will?
What if? Giggity 08 drops a very generous $5 super chat, and he says, still hoping ID's next game is a Doom/Halo horror game. That would be dope. I mean, I'd love to see again Elseworlds and Master Chief and Doom Guy together. Sign me right up. That would be bonkers. And Shine Films, who's been a channel member for 7 months. Thank you so much for the support and generosity. He goes on to say, let's be honest. They were port begging in reviews last year when Hi-Fi Rush dropped hashtag Xbox tax. Well, there it is. It continues to happen. But like we saw with Hellblade, there is going to come a point, ladies and gentlemen, where even the most twisted journalist that just has it in for Xbox is gonna have to bend the knee, and I cannot wait. I'm here for it, as the kids like to say. But let's get to the outros. Umbra, we'll start first with you because you have a show each and every Thursday called The Fix. You and Danny McGee do a great show. Sometimes you have guests, sometimes you don't. Sell your brand, kind sir. Where can people subscribe? But more importantly, reach out to you on social media.
Yes. I mean, you guys, of course, can reach out and touch me, but now please don't. No Diddy.
Pause. Holy matrimony.
No Diddy. Don't touch me in my special places. No, seriously, you all
Oh
can
my
find me. You all can find me on Twitter X, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite. You will find me either way. And as my brother Boom pointed out, you find me on The Fix, my show, and with Danny as the co-star. I kind of coined the co-star thing instead of co-host. I think it sounds pretty cool. So Daniel McGee, I'm sure many of you guys remember. The Fix is on Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern. Would love it if you guys could subscribe and come by. I'll share a link in the chat in a few. And of course, on Fridays, the Infinite podcast with myself, Risky for the Biscuit, that blue number, Dante, which is Spriggan, and Garuda Intruder.
Nice.
So definitely come by this week on The Fix for sure. We're going to be talking about obviously Fallout, the TV show. We're going to be talking about the first episode.
Yes.
So it'll probably be spoiler field. So definitely watch it tomorrow, guys. And so if you come by, you're going to be like, I didn't watch it yet. That's on you. So be warned. We're going to talk about that. And we're obviously going to talk about the WrestleMania. Yes, I have been a long-time wrestling fan, but I dipped away from wrestling for a good decade or plus. And this right here reinvigorated me, just seeing The Rock and how they handled this storyline. I am back in it, Boom. I gotta say. So we're going to cover that too. And of course, gaming news and things of that nature. Obviously, the new Star Wars information we just saw, which looks gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, looks ridiculously good.
looks
That's the
crazy
Snowdrop
good.
engine that they're using from
Hey,
the
for
Division.
Yeah.
Yes.
I might have to listen. I stand for Unreal Engine. I might have to change it up a little bit. Snowdrop is looking gorgeous. But other than that, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Jamie, for joining us, and as well as Crazy Louie. He left, I know, but glad you guys are here with us now for Tuesday. So, and when you can make it, of course. And Boom, for you doing what you do, man, and continuously running. I don't know how you do it. I said it before. I say it again. But shout out to you, of course.
I appreciate the compliments, brother. Yeah, it's because I love gaming. I love this community, and I go at 100 miles an hour. I love it. Thank you so much for being a part of this show each and every week. And lastly, Jamie Moran, the elusive gamer, someone that you need to follow on the socials, but more importantly, subscribe to his YouTube channel because he does amazing Xbox content. Jamie, sell the brand. Where can people subscribe? But more importantly, follow you on social media.
Yeah, thanks, Boom, for having us on. It's been great talking to you all again, and for the first time with the Umbra. It's so yeah, my YouTube channel is The Elusive Gamer. I pretty much exclusively cover, Xbox, and I dabble in Mass Effect. Well, obsessed with Mass Effect, but cover Xbox every single week. I cover upcoming games coming to Xbox. Recently put out a video of 10 biggest games coming to Xbox in April. I do podcasts on Tuesdays, all things Xbox podcast, which is at 6 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, so tonight. But I'm a positive Xbox guy. Like, you won't see any doom and gloom for me. Although I will always, talk about my concerns if there are, and at the minute there isn't really many, But Xbox, positive Xbox stuff, and no fanboy stuff or clickbait. I don't clickbait, which is fun. And on Twitter, I'm Jamie Moran UK, where I cover pretty much Xbox, do the occasional jokes and stuff.
Yeah, no, you do a great job, brother. Super appreciate the work that you do in the community. You make it fun. Your tweets are great. They're thought-provoking, and that's really what it's all about. Real quick, before we get on out of here, Gamer by Choice drops a very generous $5 super chat. It says, I think Xbox is playing chess again. If ponies are asking for Xbox games, that is marketing. People reading articles now, looking up Xbox game is a win, indeed. And Hargeet Chani, who's been a channel member for 19 months, and I'm going to meet in real life this June, says this. since the media won't ask, I'll ask the question that should be asked. What PlayStation game besides MLB The Show should come to Xbox/Game Pass? More bang for your more money for PlayStation. That's
right.
That's a
I know
great
one
question.
in particular, Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2, and I think Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales will sell 10 million on Xbox. And
Yep.
I'm not even a marketing manager. I think that those should come, and I think that maybe those will be the first ones to come over because obviously they're old, and they would be a cash cow for Sony.
I think
and
Disney might force their hands, if anything.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. You may see a MLB a show situation with Marvel, and obviously those fees have gone up a lot. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. But great time to be an Xbox gamer. A big shout out to over 900 live viewers between of course Twitter and now YouTube, which is something that the software tracked, which I didn't know before, which is awesome. Thank you so much for the support. If you find the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. We'd greatly appreciate Mrs. Boom and I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, a big thank you to all of the outstanding support, both through super chats and channel memberships. Again, we are humbled beyond words. The generosity blows our mind, and that's why we give back so much to this community. And of course, I'm going to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day, folks, it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you, you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of the Xbox Factor Podcast.